10 away from 9. I always look forward to this conversation. In the past, women who were married under customary law had no right to their spouse's assets if they were to divorce or they were to die. But now, following amendments to the Marriage Act, all customary marriages will now be treated as being in community of property. Very important discussion, isn't it, Maya Fisher-French, as we look at our personal finance features. So, amendments to the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act. You have to first learn how to say that quickly without stumbling, and then understand what it actually means.
Yeah, from the 15th of November 2000, we had the Recognition of Customary law come into place, and that basically said that anybody getting married from the 15th of November 2000 onwards would be, the default would be community of property. And this was to fundamentally protect women's rights, because under customary law, in most cases, the men own all the assets. But what this did not do is it did not protect women who were married prior to that. And there was a groundbreaking case with Mrs. Gumede when they got divorced and she was left financially destitute, and they recognized that all people must be equal before the law. So this was the amendment. And this has been heralded as a really good move. And in many regards, if it's a woman staying at home raising the family, it does protect her. But I think there are some issues with community of property that people forget about sometimes, and that's the debt.
Yeah, let's talk about those issues quickly if we could. It's not as simple to say it's simply a case of community of property is sharing profit and loss if one of you walk out. It's not quite as simple as that, is it?
Well, I think it is. Everybody understands the profit part. So, if you enter a marriage, once you enter community of property, all your assets become joint. So you are no longer seen as individuals. The problem is so does your debt. And this is what a lot of people don't realize when they enter community of property, is that the debt that you had prior to that marriage is also now forms part of this marital regime. So if you married a partner who had a lot of debt and walked into the marriage, you become 100% liable for that debt if he or she defaults on it. And I have quite a big concern about community of property as the default marriage in South Africa for that reason, because we have a big debt problem in this country, and I think a lot of people don't realize the kind of debts that they're taking on when they enter into marriages.
Yeah, that's why you check bank statements before you sign the wedding certificate, not to take the romance away from it. But it's a thing, Maya, it's a thing. You need to know what your partner's doing and how much money they don't actually have. All right, just before I say goodbye, here's a thought. So if someone entering a customary marriage, Maya, can they sign an anti-nuptial contract? It's the opposite of community of property. Can that be done?
Absolutely. And in fact, I would advise anybody getting married, whether it's through customary law or traditional marriage or legal marriage or civil union, any of those things, go out and decide. And it's not just about divorce. It's about death and it's about living. It's how your debts are affected. It's what happens if your partner passes away. These are very, very, very important contracts. And I think you do need to consider that. And it's not just about the roses and the romances.
It's true. I think a lot of people get caught up in the planning of the wedding and the wedding vows that you forget to have the hard conversation. Just take a night, get a nice bottle of red wine, sit down, talk business, and then get back to falling in love and getting married, I think, is the advice I would give anybody. Maya Fisher-French, always fantastic to talk to you every Tuesday. Is our Maya Fisher-French personal finance feature. Customary Marriages Act now being recognized. Very important, especially here in South Africa.